technically, this is not a Vancouver Canucks video. So despite the fact that at the time of this video's publication, the Vancouver Canucks are actually going to be playing off against the New Jersey Devils, a game that for whatever reason is going to start at 9:30 a.m. here in the Pacific time zone, we can still make this video, because technically we're not talking about Vancouver, we're not talking about New Jersey. That was a video from earlier in today's show. In this video, we're going to be talking about Minnesota, and we're also going to be talking about the Detroit Red Wings. Because when it comes to the brand new #1 defenseman in Mini, obviously you know we're talking about Quinn Hughes. Obviously he is the guy of the weekend. He is the main man that everybody is going to be talking about. We had some commentary from the names that matter the most when it comes to the Quinn Hughes acquisition of Minnesota that I do think it's worth it for us to go out there and react to. Now, I know what you're thinking. Lego, what in the world do the Red Wings have to do with this? They didn't get Quinn Hughes. Yeah, that's true. They didn't. But they were close. And a lot of the rumors circulating around Motown really set the stage for Quinn Hughes trade discussions to enter that market, and a lot of folks in the media, all over social media, on the radio waves, on the television shows, they're all talking about Quinn Hughes. Oh yeah, this guy could go over for Danielson, Casper, ASP, Comfer, a Cop, or whatever. There were a lot of Quinn Hughes Detroit Red Wings trade ideas tossed out there. And it turns out, the folks on the team may have actually seen and had their own opinions about it all, because this is what Patrick Kane went out there and said about the Quinn Hughes trade rumors to Detroit. I think Quinn is a great player. He's one of the special players in the league that can take over a game individually, and there's only a handful of those, Kane said of Hughes. You hear a lot of rumors, and the Red Wings were part of that too. I was definitely following to see what was going to happen. He's a great kid and a great player. I'm sure he'll do well in Minnesota. Now, that is a very vanilla comment. Of course, you're probably not going to get too many hot takes or blistering hot comments from Patrick Kane about a trade made by two completely independent teams from his own, but it is nice to see his perspective be tossed out there, and for him to give the confirmation where it's like, yeah, hey, you know, it wasn't just the fans going out there and talking about Quinn Hughes, thinking about him coming over to Detroit. We also were thinking about it, seeing it, talking about it, and we had this idea as to whether or not it would happen. So, obviously, Detroit would have been a really nice home for Quinn Hughes had the Canucks found the proper assets from the Wings to get that trade done. It didn't seem like it was possible since Detroit didn't want to get rid of Simon Edvinsson. You know what? Honestly, that's a pretty good commentary topic on its own. Why the Wings could not give up on Edvinsson, and why things didn't get done the way they could have. Wow. I just tapped into my brain there. That actually makes a lot of sense. I want to make a video about that after this one. Okay, great. There we go. Let's schedule it for the rest of today's show. But obviously the idea of Kane, Raymond, DeBrincat, Larkin, and, Quinn Hughes, that sounds pretty good. No disrespect to Mo Seider, no shade to the role he has been able to provide on the Detroit Red Wings the past few years. He's been good. He's been that dude. He has been a stud. But, Quinn Hughes with DeBrincat and Kane. Talk about an all-American power play that would be doing some pretty good work. And Larkin! He's also American. You just have a Raymond out of nowhere. There's a guy from Sweden. Bring him onto this power play unit, see what he can do. Ultimately, though, does not seem like Kane is sour graping, and why should he? I mean, it's Patrick Kane. There is no reason for this guy to feel any sort of ill will towards anybody, unless they're driving him around the streets of Buffalo. But either way, I did think it was pretty sweet to see Patrick Kane go out there and share some of the love on Quinn Hughes going over to Minnesota. But you know who else had some pretty good things to say about the Quinn Hughes arrival? None other than Minnesota's top star, who actually isn't Quinn Hughes. It's Kirill Kaprizov. He went out there and answered in the post-game interview about the acquisition of Quinn Hughes, and there were some pretty good comments that he made himself. He said that the trade was exciting and it was a big trade for us. It's nice to have him. Kaprizov also says it's kind of tough to lose out on some of the guys that they played with for so many years, obviously referring to Marco Rossi. Yeah, no, it's not like you played for Zeev Buium all too long. He'd only made his debut this season, but ultimately, Kaprizov expresses all of the right emotions here. Excitement for the new acquisition, a sadness/appreciation for the guys that ended up going, and then he goes out there and says that Quinn Hughes is one of the best players in the league, with the skating and the way that he thinks the game, the way he makes plays, etc., etc. Honestly, Kirill Kaprizov, I don't think I've really sat down and fully listened to an interview of his in quite some time. And maybe that's an under-the-radar kind of thing, like all these interviews just slip through my field of vision, but, you know, I'd say Kirill Kaprizov has been media trained very well, and he says all the right things when it comes to the Quinn Hughes trade. He's very excited. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's super emphatic over the moon, but like, hey, you know, he's chuckling, he's smiling, you can tell that there's a glimmer of hope there in his commentary. He then says that Quinn can move and shoot and stuff, and I just gotta reiterate the same thing that we had said in previous videos here. I hope Quinn shoots less, honestly. Like, especially in the last few weeks that he was a Vancouver Canuck, you could definitely tell. Like, this guy was checked out, he wasn't really all too into it being a Canuck and playing for this team anymore, ever since he had informed management that he didn't want to re-sign, and really started playing like it, too, on the ice. That's when you started to see maybe the worst Quinn Hughes play we have seen in a Canucks uniform. Circumstances acknowledged, yeah, okay, it makes sense why that happened, but still, it's like the guy was shooting from everywhere, he wasn't trusting his teammates, he'd razzle-dazzle, do a nice move at the point, spin around a guy, and then just throw it into a shin pad, and that was quite annoying, because when Quinn Hughes was out of the lineup this season, and Phil Hronek was filling that top power play role instead, that's when you finally saw passes going Elias Pettersson's way, and that's when he finally scored the one-timers, so Quinn, as long as you trust your teammates, as long as Kirill Kaprizov or Matt Boldy are able to receive those passes, then I think it's probably going to work out a lot better in Minnesota, and Quinn will probably get maybe 90 points on the year. Is it too late for that? Okay, it's probably too late for that, but still, he can get 75 or 80 in total, and that will probably be a good bounce back season for him after getting traded from Vancouver. Kirill Kaprizov then gets asked about what does it mean for the management to make a trade like this, and he doesn't really give the answer that I think the reporter was looking for. The reporter was obviously looking for something along the lines of, oh yeah, it means a lot that this group, this management believes in our team so much that they're going to go out there and make a big trade for this big of a piece because this amazing player adds such an element to our game that we could use. And even though it might only be for 2 years, even though it comes at a significant cost, we're very happy to have this guy. That's the answer that I think the media wants to get out of Kaprizov, but he's just like, oh, it's a big trade. Yeah, really big trade, like I said before. And so maybe there's something lost in translation there, but either way, I thought it was pretty cool for Kaprizov to come out there and talk about the trade as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because this is not a Canucks video, man. This is not. The Canucks are playing the Devils right now. Instead, this is a Wild and Red Wings video, is it not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.